Vasishta continued, having reached the understanding already described, Janaka functioned as the king and did all that was necessary, without getting befuddled, and with a great strength of mind and spirit. His mind was not distracted by royal pleasures. In fact, he moved about as if he were continually in a state of deep sleep. He was imperturbable. From then on, he was interested neither in accumulating nor in rejecting anything. Without any doubt or confusion, he lived in the present. You could say he was experiencing fully the power of now. His wisdom was uninterrupted, and his intelligence did not become clouded again by impurities. The light of self-knowledge, cid-atma, arose in his heart, free from the least taint of impurity and sorrow, even as the sun rises on the horizon. What's exceptional here about King Janaka is he found the light switch. He found the light switch which illumined his own self-nature, and what usually happens is spiritual practice is required at this point to keep coming back and flicking that light switch on. The reason we need to do that is because the tendencies are still there, and these tendencies still direct us outward, looking for fulfillment in the notion of an external world. And so we have to keep coming back to this awareness, and then gradually the pool of what we can describe as sense perceptions and our own ideas and beliefs, the pool of these things will eventually weaken. But it seems with Janaka that the force of his realization was so strong that all such impurities fell away. He beheld everything in the universe as existing in cosmic power, cid-shakti. In other words, he had the great realization that everything that was presenting itself was the infinite Brahman. Endowed with self-knowledge, he saw all things in the self, which is infinite. Knowing that all that happens naturally, he neither experienced elation nor suffered depression, and remained in unbroken equanimity. So here, elation is clearly something different from bliss. We often hear about the bliss of equanimity, but I suggested before that this bliss is actually the absence of all negative tendencies. Janaka had become a liberated one while still living, jivanmukta. He'd become a liberated one while still living. This might seem a strange way of putting it, but it's a doctrinal distinction. There's also apparently something called disembodied liberation, videhamukta, and this is sometimes described as getting liberated at the point of death. But it's a distinction which we don't need to worry about here, because Janaka would have transcended notions of the body, which is one way of understanding the videhamukta as well. So you could say he was both a videhamukta and a jivanmukta. So we can just say he became a liberated one, and we don't need to worry about the nature of the body, whether it was embodied or disembodied. His identification with the Absolute was unshakable, and the body just doesn't come into it. Janaka continued to rule the kingdom without his self-knowledge setting or rising on account of the influence of the evil or the good prevalent around him. Remaining forever in the consciousness of the infinite, he experienced a state of non-action, even though he appeared to others to be ever busy in diverse actions. All his tendencies and intentions had ceased to be. Hence, though he appeared to be active, he was really in a state of deep sleep all the time. He did not brood over the past, nor did he worry over the future. He lived in the present moment, smiling happily all the time. Janaka attained whatever he did by dint of his own inquiry. Similarly, one should pursue the inquiry into the nature of truth till one reaches the very limits of such inquiry. And now we've got one of these exceptional passages. Self-knowledge, or knowledge of truth, is not had by resorting to a guru, preceptor, nor by the study of scripture, nor by good works. It is attained only by means of inquiry, inspired by the company of wise and holy men. One's inner light alone is the means, not else. When this inner light is kept alive, it is not affected by the darkness of inertia. And this darkness of inertia, this inertia refers to inert notions. And inner light is simply awareness. It's awareness of what the attention is attending to. So it's certainly good to have inspiration, inspired by the company of wise and holy men, but only you can do it, or it's only attained through self-effort applied to the pursuit of direct observation, which is what inquiry is.